Hey everyone, it's Julian here, and today I'm going to be making a lo-fi house track from scratch. So, I'm going to be trying something a little bit different here. I have this pack of samples I put together, and I'm going to use it to make a lo-fi house track, and then you're going to be able to get these samples as well as the project file from this in the description on my Bandcamp. First link, you can't miss it. And yeah, so let's start. So, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring in a cassette noise, and we're going to move the BPM to let's do 124. So we have our cassette noise here. Really don't have to do too much to these. It's pretty much there. Let's just throw on a quick EQ with like a high pass. Alright. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I have two samples here. I've got this one. And this one. I'm going to grab that first one and let's just put it in here. And I'm going to start doing some processing on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get an EQ on there. And I'm going to give it this kind of curve where it's like the X4 one. I don't know exactly what it's called. But yeah, I'm going to do that. And we're going to look. You can see right here, there's like this kind of point where the frequency sort of starts, I guess. I'm just going to go to there and we're going to give it a bit of a bump in the Q. Yeah, like that. You can hear it already gives it that kind of like nice, lo-fi sound. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a saturator on here, and I'm actually not going to use a preset. We're going to turn the drive up just a little bit. And there we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a kick, actually, and I have a few kicks to choose from. Let's get that first one. I'm going to normalize this real quick just to make it easy for myself. And let's just put in a simple, 4 on the floor pattern. So I'll just get C3 there. And alright, cool. So now we should have this. Perfect. So I'm going to turn all of this down. Because I want to keep that kick on the top of the mix, but I don't want to just turn it up a bunch, so I'm just going to turn everything else down. Alright, cool. We're good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch this kick down a little bit. Alright, that's pretty good. So let's actually get a drum rack now. And I'm going to bring in these hi-hats. I have like a closed one and an open one. And then I'm going to bring in a clap as well. Let's get this clap. Cool. So let's just put in like a pretty simple lo-fi house pattern for these. So I'll just do like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. Exactly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these 16th notes here. Hold up a sec. Okay, there we go. I'm going to grab these 16th notes here, and we're actually going to give them a little bit of a swing. I probably should have done this before I copied everything over, but there we go. Cool. So yeah, so you guys, if you watch my channel, you know I'm not usually a fan of drum racks, but when you have like percussion and stuff like that, like things that are all just kind of in the same range sonically, it actually does make a lot of sense to just use a drum rack because you have it all under one umbrella. The thing I don't like is when you have your kick and basically all your drums in one drum rack, and when they're things that need to be very different, both sonically as well as just in volume, it can be kind of annoying. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these drums together and we can listen. We got a pretty solid little groove going, but I'm going to do some stuff to make it sound lo-fi. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab an EQ once again, and we're going to do a similar thing to what I did on this sample. Where we just cut off that high end and it gets really lo-fi sounding. And then I'm going to get a saturator. And yeah, there we go. And I'm going to start playing around with this color too. Yeah, there we go. And this is starting to clip. This is sounding pretty good. I might actually put a little bit of saturation on the kick as well, on its own. Because I want to play around with the color on this as well. I find for basses and kicks, this analog clip can get you some very interesting vibes. Alright, so that sounds pretty good to me. That's like really saturating that clap. But that's cool. I kind of like that. Now, there are some kind of boxy frequencies going on with that kick, so I'm going to get an EQ8 and sort of notch that out. Alright, there we go. That's pretty good. I'm going to play around with putting a little bit of reverb on the sample before the saturator. Sounds good. So now we need a bass line, and there's kind of a few different ways, or there are kind of a few different ways that we could do this bass line. The first way I'm going to try here is I'm going to convert the sample to MIDI, and the reason why I'm doing this is just so I can see what the notes are of these two chords. Because, yeah, obviously, we would probably want to know the notes of the chords if we are going to make a bass line. So, let's see. Okay, so we're in C, and I guess it kind of goes up to D or whatever. Cool. So, I could try a few different things. Let's get, like, an operator, and I'll just try, like, a simple kind of FM house bass. I think that's going to sound pretty solid here. Alright, cool. So we have operator, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the level of this oscillator 2, or operator 2, and we're going to play around with the envelopes of these two oscillators, basically, until it has kind of like a nice donkey kind of sound. Not necessarily like a donkey as in the animal, but donk as in a donk bass. Alright, we'll give it a little pitch envelope. It'll be clicky. And that's pretty good. I may actually pitch the sample up because this C is a little bit strange. Let's try putting it up 5 so it's an F. Yeah, see, because then we can play an F a little bit better with the bass. Oh, that sounds kind of cool, actually. Awesome. So let's just write in this bass line. I'm going to write a really simple one for now. And then we can, do some more with it. I thought that one little change there would be cool. But this works. I mean, it's a very simple bass line, but it definitely works. Like, we have our little kind of groove going here. Alright, sounding pretty good. So let's process this bass a bit. And I'm going to pretty much just do the same kind of things you've been seeing me doing on the rest of the sounds. I'll just use a low-pass filter, an auto filter to do it this time. But same kind of thing. We're going to bring out that, like, resonant frequency, and just give it the kind of, like, lo-fi feel. And there we go. Now, there are other ways that can make a bass line too. Like, I could do a 303 or something, but I think what I'm going to do really quick now is I'm going to start structuring this, actually. So, like, let's maybe have everything happen at bar, like, 33, and we'll give it, like, a little 16-bar intro. Maybe we'll start, like, with the kick and the sample. That's a pretty popular lo-fi house technique. That's pretty good. And I'm going to make this pattern twice as long, and at the end we'll do like a little double kick. So it'll be kind of like... Yeah, there we go. Cool. So this is actually coming along pretty nicely. So then we have like this little break here. I'll figure something out for there. Maybe I'll come with like a synth lead or something. And then we have like our little drop. Sounds pretty cool. Awesome. Let's actually, maybe for this break, I'll grab the second sample that I had. This one that we haven't used yet, actually. I might give it some nice variation. Let's put that up +5 because that's what we put the first sample up, and let's hear it. Yeah, sounds pretty cool to me. Awesome. Well, I'll give this a little bit more of a structure. It's really not too difficult to structure out like lo-fi house tracks like this because like it's not that it has to be super formulaic, but it can be, and that's like that kind of helps. Like that makes it a little bit less difficult if you follow the kind of standard house type of structure where you have, you know, start with some drums and then a little break and then like a nice kind of drop thing. So cool. Let's do this. Gotta keep the cassette noise going through all the way. Awesome. So let's get. I'll try like one more little layer here. Let's get this synth layer or the synth operator, and I'm hearing a little melody in my head. Let me see. Alright, so yeah, something kind of like that. Cool. Let's actually get analog, as a matter of fact. Yeah, there we go. Cool. I'm going to turn off oscillator 2. Let's turn off the filter for now. And I'm going to get square wave. We'll play around with the pulse width a little bit. Let's set the envelope, like the amp envelope, like this. There we go. Cool. And then I'll give it a little bit of vibrato. That sounds pretty solid. Awesome. Cool. So let me get the filter here like one more time. Awesome. Cool. Let's write something in. Do 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 do. Yeah, sounds kind of cool. I'll just copy it over for like the next part there. And then we'll have it go to that note. Awesome. So let's work on this sound a little bit more. Great. Let's give it echo. And I'm going to use a preset here. I'm going to use this clip slapped analog, which I really like. It sounds good, but I'm going to turn this input down and we're going to turn the noise off. Excellent. Let's give it a little bit more envelope on the filter. Awesome. And I'm going to also give it a little bit of saturation. Let's hear that just like with the beat. I think this sample needs to come up a bit because like the full mix doesn't really sound that deep. Like part of the lo-fi sound I think is it has to sound really like deep and full, and it's not really getting there. That's pretty good though. Excellent. Well, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Like I said, you can get this project file and maybe use it as like a starter for a track you want to work on or something like that, you know, just to tear it apart maybe and see what's going on. But it's in the description, and you can get these samples as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like the video and maybe even subscribe, and I will see you guys again tomorrow with another tutorial.